Today, we are going to share a new update in the case of Riley Strain. This new update comes from an interview, a recent interview that the family did with News Nation's Bryan Inton. Riley Strain's mother, during that interview, spoke of details on the night of Riley Strain's disappearance that she has yet to speak on. As we know, Riley Strain went missing on the night of March 8th after being removed from Luke Bryan's bar in downtown Nashville on Lower Broadway. And tragically, on March 22nd, Riley Strain's body was located in the Cumberland River. Initially, within the beginning phases of this investigation, Riley Strain's family's number one priority was locating their son. And now, as they have had some time to process their loss, they are zeroing in and focusing on certain details in the investigation and from that night. And like I said, this is the first time that we are hearing or learning about this new information from Riley Strain's mother, Riley Strain's family, but they are hoping that there will be some answers. The new details that Riley Strain's mother has shared surrounds a conversation, a text message conversation that she had with her son on the night of his disappearance, prior to him disappearing and prior to him leaving the bar. And the conversation was about a drink that Riley was consuming at the bar. And as we have learned and seen throughout this investigation, Riley Strain and his mother had such an unbreakable bond. The two were extremely close. We even know that they were FaceTiming on that night as well. It was not uncommon for Riley Strain and his mother to constantly speak to one another. So for him to share this information with his mom does not seem out of the ordinary, as it seems clear that Riley was open to share anything and everything with his mother. So let's get right into this interview clip that has been shared by News Nation. This interview was recently conducted by News Nation's anchor Bryan Inton with the family. Here is what they had to say during this interview. Bryan Inton asked about the text message and conversation that Riley and his mother Michelle had on that night. She responded and said he had sent me a text that said that he was drinking a rum and coke and it didn't taste good. And I said, well, you probably shouldn't drink it then. Then he goes, well, it tastes like barbecue. And I go, well, that sounds awful. And he said, well, it sounds good, but it's not. Now, following Riley Strain's mother's response to this, Bryan Inton followed up by explaining to the family that a rum and coke has a pretty consistent flavor and does not normally taste any different than what they are supposed to normally taste like. To which Riley's mother replied, yes, that's why I said you probably shouldn't drink that then. When Riley's mother was then asked by Bryan Inton, did she think that that could have something to do with what happened on that night, Riley's mother paused for a moment and then said, yeah, maybe there was something in it that shouldn't have been. Now, what we do know out of this investigation, and it has also caused some speculation, is that Riley Strain was initially at Luke Bryan's bar before he went missing. He was then removed from the bar. He was with his fraternity brothers. They were under the belief that he would be going back to their hotel, the Tempo Hotel, which was only blocks away from Luke Bryan's bar. However, Riley ended up in the wrong direction of his hotel. We have seen security footage released by Metro Nashville PD where Riley Strain seems to be unstable, unsteady on his feet, even causing him to fall at one point in a parking lot area, which takes him moments to get up from his fall and then to continue on his path, where he then ultimately meets with a Nashville police officer. This is on body cam. They have an exchange of greetings. It sounds as though Riley Strain is coherent in that conversation. However, he still continues on his path. No more conversation is really exchanged between him and the police officer other than greetings. And we have also heard about an unknown female that he was also texting, and there was some incoherent messages from Riley to her on that night. And tragically, Riley's phone was last near the Cumberland River, and his body was ultimately located in the river as well. Now, something else that is interesting that was shared from this interview clip onto News Nation, Bryan Inton also shared that there is a state investigation currently happening in the Riley Strain case right now. We know that Nashville police have put a stop or a hold on the investigation until receiving these toxicology reports back from the medical examiner, which have still not returned. Now, we know that the Tennessee Alcoholic Beverage Commission has been brought in onto this investigation as well with Luke Bryan's bar, but Bryan Inton also mentioned that the state case looks to be more focused around the bar. I would believe the TABC have involvement with that. And of course, he said, and the drink, in which Riley's mother referred to in one of her last conversations with her son. Of course, if and as there is new information that comes from this state investigation, we will continue to bring these updates to you here. Another thing that I want to let you guys know is tonight on Banfield, the full interview with the family will be released. They're also going to go into what they believe really happened on that night. And I'm sure if you cannot catch that interview, we will have more information following the full release of this interview for more updates to bring to you guys as well. A very heartbreaking and tragic case, especially when you consider Riley Strain was the only child, and the bond and connection that he had with his mother. And, you know, she is still speaking out about her concerns and the questions that she and her family have. We are just hoping and praying that these questions can be answered. And as we continue to wait on the toxicology report, we hope and pray that they come back sooner rather than later, as it is coming up on the 1 month mark since Riley Strain was located. As always, guys, thank you all for tuning in here at CountryCast. That's your latest update. Be sure to subscribe down below so you never miss out on any breaking news and updates.